Hi, this is Vicki with My Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I am thrilled that you are with me today. Today I'm going to make a really pretty card using the Simply Succulent. And I'm going to use some of the dies from the Simply Succulents. I don't know about you, but I'm not very good with plants. But succulents I can seem to do because they don't need much water. So anyway, before I get started with that, I want to tell you about our mini catalog and celebration. This mini catalog is just chocked full of wonderful, wonderful things. The Simply Succulent stamp set and dies are in this catalog. And they're just really lots. This is one of my favorites, by the way. The sweet strawberry. I can't say it. I can't talk today. But there's just so many wonderful things. And you're going to be seeing a whole lot of projects that are coming from this mini catalog in the next few weeks. This is the celebration brochure. If you don't have a catalog or a brochure, please let me know and I'd be happy to get one out to you. From now until February 28th, every $50 that you spend makes you eligible to receive a free item from the celebration brochure. There are a couple items that are actually it takes $100, but I mean it's big things, like you get a whole stamp set and a whole package of paper. And then there's another one. This particular stamp set has 2 sleeves of stamps inside of it. So this is one of those $100 purchase things too. But there's fantastic things in here. And until February 28th, if you have $125 worth of product that you're wanting to spend, then what you need to do is to purchase the starter kit. Because for $99, you can get that $125 worth of product. Plus, you're going to get 5 packages of paper. Now, the brochure says 6. That was a misprint. There are actually 5 packages of designer series paper that you will receive when you purchase your starter kit. And if you're looking to do that, I would love to have you be a part of my group. You don't have to be a demonstrator doing what I'm doing. You can if you want, but you don't have to. If you just want to be, if you want to be a discount shopper, very much like Costco or Sam's or something like that, you can do that. And I would love to have you on my team with me. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for my card, I am using just Jade. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm just burnishing it here. And then I'm also using a piece of designer series paper from In Good Taste. And I'm actually going to stamp a background on here. I'm bringing in a piece of scrap paper because, you know, whenever you're cutting material out, you don't have your design just stuck within these little parameters. When you're cutting a piece of material out, you may be cutting into a flower or a design, and that's what I want this to look like. I don't want it to be nice and neatly framed. I want it to look as if it were cut out of a larger piece. So to do that, I'm going to stamp off, and I'm using smoky slate, and I'm just going to turn my paper as I stamp this, because it's easier than turning my hand all over the place, right? And you're just going to give it you're just going to stamp off here and there, just in random places. And I really didn't even need to worry about that because all of that is going to be covered. Okay. So then we are going to put that aside. So I'm bringing in my Stays On ink because that's what you want to use when you're using watercolor. And because my stamp is such a large one, I'm going to have it facing up, and then I'm just going to stamp it like that. Ink it, not stamp it, and just stamp it. Okay, it's a really good image. Now I'm going to bring in my ink pads, which are going to be Just Jade, Mint Macaron, and Flirty Flamingo. And what I'm going to do is I'm taking my smallest block and I'm just laying it down in my Mint Macaron ink. I'm wetting my aqua painter. over here, I'm just going to kind of get some of the excess water off. You don't want to have a whole lot of water when you're not doing it on watercolor paper. So then I'm just going to go along and just kind of lightly, one time, go over these. If you do just one pass, let it dry, and then come back over it, it's much better than if you just keep going, because you'll end up getting pilling with your with the water on the stamped image. Okay, so now I'm just going to switch to a different color, and you can tell it is not consistent all the way through. See in there are some that are lighter and darker, and then there's some areas that I didn't even get at all. And that's okay. That's the beauty of watercolor. Now I want to switch colors that I'm using, so you just do your little aqua painter like this, and that will get that paint out. And now I'm just coming in with just Jade on my clean block, and you can see this is a lot darker, okay? So I'm just going to come over here and just kind of see how it looks. I want it to be thinner. So I'm just going to lightly come in right in here in these, just on the tips and just in the center of some of these. It's a little bit different color, but I want it to have just a little bit darker look. Not too dark though. So every time that I re-ink, I'm going to wipe some of it off. I just want a hint of that darker color. And I'm just going along like the center of the leaves here and there. And again, the key is don't go over it too much. You can actually use watercolor if you don't do it too much. Otherwise, you'll end up peeling your paper. The next thing I'm going to do is use a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo. And again, I don't want it to be dark, so I'm going to put a little bit on and then take a lot off. I just want a little bit to go around the tips of these. I didn't do that on my other one. And I just wanted a little bit of that pink on the tips of these. I'm not even really painting it. I'm just kind of daubing it on. Okay, for my pot, I am going to use blends, and I'm going to use the light and dark cinnamon cider. These do come in combo packs, and they're fantastic. Love them. Blending is one of my favorite things to do, but it was just a little bit darker than what I wanted it to be. Okay, so the way you do blending, there are like little small things on your stamp that is provided by the artist, and that signifies shadows or whatever. So what I want to do is kind of have darker on the outside and like a little bit of a light on the inside. So I'm just going to kind of come in like this in some areas. And then I'm going to come back over it with the light, although I do want my rim to be, I say that, but it's probably not even going to show. All right, then I'm going to come back over with my light and blend all of that. Okay, I got out of the line a good bit right in here. This is our color lifter, and I had brought it over anyway because I wanted to create just a little bit of shadow there in the middle. It doesn't completely remove the color, but it kind of moves it around. So I'm just going to go right over here on this outside, and I am going to cut it out with my dies, but I did not want that to show too much. So you just go in with your color lifter, and it helps to just lighten that out a little bit. It moves it around. Then I'm going to take the brush tip of it and just kind of go in the middle like this and just create some, not shadow, light. I'm going to make it look like light is on it right there in the center. I don't know if you can see it or not. See right there? Just kind of lightens it up. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my image out, and I'm using the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, the mini one. It's so cute. Look, it just fits right in my hands, and it's very compact, and you just open it up like this, and it's got these great little acrylic pads, and your two little clear ones, and they're numbered, which is fantastic. I love that. Now I cut this out because it is so small, a 4-inch wide, I think this might be about 3 inches, but a 4-inch wide piece will not fit. So I cut it out slightly, and I'm going to take the die that comes with the Succulent, Simply Succulents, and as you can see, they line up like this. Now when I have a die that I'm using that's a decent size and it's got a lot of detail and I don't want it to move around, I just take some cheap old washi tape that I got. I don't know where I got it. I've had it for a long time. And I just keep washi tape by my die cutting machine and close by, and I just tape my image down. And that way I know it's not going to shift, and because I hate it when that happens, when it shifts and then you end up having your image that's not quite the right, cut out with the right margins. All right, I'm just going to just take it through. It's so smooth and so easy, and I love that it folds up and I have it right on my desk. It's now available to customers. For a while it was only available to demonstrators, and I have found that I'm using it more than my larger machine just because I have it sitting right there on my desk all the time. Folds up just like that. Okay, it's time to start assembling our card. And so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to the center. This is also from the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. There's wood on one side and stonework on the other. So I'm going to glue that down to the front of this piece that I have. And I just love these textures. They're so pretty. So I'm going to glue this down. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that your margins are the same. So if you make sure that one corner has the same amount of space as the other corner, then it will all line up. And this piece is 3 by 4 inches. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto the front. Make sure it's opening the right direction. And I say that because I have to fix them sometimes because I'm not paying attention. Again, make sure your corners have the same space and it will all line up. Okay, then I'm going to glue this piece down. Put it in the center, but about, I don't know, maybe right about a 1/4 of an inch from the bottom, something like that, maybe a little bit more. And then I'm going to place dimensionals on the back of my jade plant. I'm going to use the bones of that, but I don't want to cut it right now, so I will just pick up my other pair. This was from a paper pumpkin, and I'm just using what I have. I know that's a lot of them, isn't it? All right, I want these to trail over. So you just kind of position it. I want the top of the pot to be covered, so you just kind of position it like that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is to take some of my linen thread, and I want to wrap it 3 times around the center of it. So around the center fold, I guess I should say. All right, just kind of move that in place and then tighten it up a little bit. And then I'm going to come up at the top up here. And I think just to make it easy on myself, I'm going to use a glue dot. And I'm just going to roll it up like a little roll, and then place it right about in here. Now that's not going to end up showing, but it's going to help me with tying my bow, because what will happen is whenever I do that first little knot thing and take it down, that's going to secure it in place, and it's going to be almost, see, it's going to be almost like having a third hand that can hold it in place. And that way, you know when you're little and you have people hold it like that so you can tie the bow, that's basically what's happening there. All right, so then I always like to you have to figure out where you want your tails to be. So the tail is going to be this side. I want the tail to be this side. So a lot of people will go like this and do it. I go over like that and pull it through the bottom. And then I know that my tail is going to be on the bottom. So then you just hold that in like that. And you just cinch it up. It's a little twisted. So I'm going to hold that like that. Let's open that just a little bit more. There. And then having that there also secures it in place. So all you have to do is just trim it. Okay. I'm not going to put a sentiment on the front of this because this card can be a thinking of you. It can be a happy birthday, a thank you. It can be pretty much anything. And I don't know what I want to use it as yet. So I am going to bring in the center of the inside Whisper White. And I'm just going to take a strip of this designer series paper. It's 3/4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to place it right here. I do this a lot. It helps me use the little scraps. And it decorates it without me having to stamp on the inside. And since I don't really know what I want to use this card for yet, and to be honest with you, it's so pretty that without another embellishment, without even a sentiment on it, you could use it just like it is. It is such a pretty card. Love it. I really like it with the pink touches on it. What do you think? All right, well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day, and I hope if you have not already, if you like this card, that you'll hit subscribe. And if you ring the bell, you'll get notice of future videos. And if you would like to purchase any of these items, you can go to mypaperconnection.com and hit shop. My link will be across the top. And if you would like to be a part of my team, my Spunky Stampers team, then I would love to have you be. And if you need a catalog, just contact me. All right, thanks. Have a great day. Bye.